heard her going on to at least 3 to 4 different subjects. And you know what? If you don't like that I go on and on, Mona Lisa, honestly, don't be here. Seriously, if anybody has that issue, if you feel like you don't like me, don't be here.
Joe, respectfully, are you not used to having uncomfortable conversations
I
or
actually
not
love
being
uncomfortable.
called out?
I
You
love being I love uncomfortable conversations probably more than you think. Being called, can you move the phone away for mute or something? The echo is really distracting.
hold on.
Thank you. Um, and I think it's just if you're holding your phone up against your body or something. There's a difference between, there's people that want to do call out all the time, right? And that's what I creep. I saw her earlier talking about that. She, why am I always the one to call everybody out or something? If that's your goal in life, to call people out, go have fun doing it. Okay, I do a lot of call outs myself, but it's a lot more things than just getting my feelings hurt over somebody muting me in their live, or me trying to dominate somebody and them, which I don't try to do that, but that's what was done to to me a couple times, I feel. Anyway, no, I can be called out, but there's also a difference between somebody giving and trying to help move somebody forward and somebody who just wants to be shitty to another person because they want to feel superior or they want to put somebody down, and they get off on calling people out. So it all depends on the other person and their approach. As you saw, we've had a mixture of people in here tonight and a mixture of different reactions. With me, you kind of get what you give. As I said earlier, when you come into the box, I'm going to treat you as a human being the way that I want to be treated. How you treat me is basically going to depend on how I respond to you. And it has nothing to do with anything else except for your actions, your behaviors, and the way that you speak to me as a human being, the way you treat me as a human being. I mean, aren't we supposed to judge people on the character, the content of their character, and not the exterior thing? So when I don't see you as this age or that age, and I'm just looking at you as an equal, isn't that better than saying, oh, you're 19 years old, or you're 19 years old, so I'm not going to give you as much credit in this world, or you're 64, so I'm only going to listen to you, and you have everything to say, and I have to listen to everything you say. Like, I don't operate that way. That's just not the way my mind works. I don't mean that to be disrespectful. I feel like it's actually more respectful. And if I monologue, I'm sorry. Sometimes that's the way my brain works. Like, again, if people don't like me, don't hang around me. Block me, and don't worry. I'm not going to be going into spaces whether I was invited there or not. You guys don't have to worry. I ain't going back to anybody else's spaces. So if that was your goal, I creep. Congratulations. Celebrate with your friends. Like, I gave Blaze an opportunity to come over here and talk with me if he wanted, if he had free time. He might be busy. He has a life. He's a good guy. I hope to catch up with him another time. But I'm not going to go into his live anymore because of outside people that are in there, and they don't like. Why would I go anywhere where people are making it very clear, hey, you're not welcome here? So if that's your all's goal, don't worry. You succeeded. That's good, like, good on you. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. The only thing that, like, I truly supported Blaze and Polisa and their message, and I still will from any way I can, but I'm also not going to be spending nearly as much time in this app as I used to. I have other things I want to focus on. So, like, congratulations. I don't know. What do you guys want? What else could I answer for you, little Nikki Bill?
I mean, no offense, but it's giving victim.
No, it's no
I
victim.
mean,
As I said, I have better things to focus on, and I have enough. Now, it's not victim. You guys didn't drive me off an app or anything like that. I'm not going to go into spaces where people are saying, don't come into these spaces. That's not victim. So don't even try and gaslight me right now with that, because if you're going to continue to do that, that's not cool.
I'm not gaslighting you. I'm giving my opinion
No,
of how
that's
you
not.
sound.
That's
That's
okay.
my opinion.
If you think that me saying that I'm not going into spaces where people are clearly stating you're not welcome here is playing victim, you can feel that way. It doesn't bother me. Okay, like it doesn't bother me. I'm not trying to play victim. I don't feel like a victim. I don't care to be a victim. I'm just taking care of my space, my headspace. And if you all don't do that for yourselves, I would strongly suggest it, because anybody that puts themselves into a place where they're being told they're not welcome, you're a glutton for punishment, and you probably have a little bit of Stockholm syndrome or something like that. That's not me. I've gone through a lot of therapy, and I don't care to put myself in those spaces. So it's no victim. It's just me taking care of me. You understand that, right? Yes, I did block Dominican. Yep, 100% I did.
When you call out the vote, do you talk to them nice? It's like, I was going to talk to you nice.
What do you mean?
When you call out the vote.
So I'm gonna mute. No, wait, sorry. Can you reword your question? And first of all, again, if you could hold your phone away, but if you could reword your question when you're saying when I called the fold out, do it. First of all, the fold is comprised of a bunch of different people. I've not had interactions with all of them, only some of them. I used to be. Tell me if I'm answering your question, or if not, just interrupt me. I'll be fine with it and recorrect your question. But the fold is independent people, and I used to have independent friendships with a lot of them, or online friendships, if you will. Mona Lisa, you say things like that, you get blocked. Bye-bye. I used to have independent friends with a lot of them. I used to consider Cuban Delight a friend. I used to consider Bruja a very close friend. Like, I had her phone number and would talk to her frequently throughout the week. I used to consider Rabbi a long time ago a mutual friend type thing. Like, he was in one of my lives before he was anything, way back when, a couple of years ago. You know, I used to be mutuals with a lot of them. So have I tried to have personal conversations with them? Absolutely. I tried to have personal conversations with several of them. But there's a lot of mob mentality, and I'm kind of seeing that, no offense, but this little Bill thing kind of seems like a little bit of a mob mentality, and like another, not everybody, because there's a lot of people with the little Bill on their name that I absolutely adore. So I just want to make that clear. There's a lot of people with the little Bill on their name now that didn't have it before, that are people that I truly have grown to care for and admire, and I've had respectful conversations. And you guys also have to remember that there are a lot of people in my DMs that are afraid to speak up, but they don't necessarily agree with what a lot of people are saying, and they are of the same skin tone as you, not me. And there are several, and I'm not going to give away their names because they already don't feel comfortable speaking up against the quote, like what I consider mob mentality, the group thinking, the popular view or the popular opinion at this point. So I'm in support of Polisa too. I don't know why people, where did that come from? I support Polisa.
Well, that's what the little bill means.
Oh,
That's all
see,
it
I didn't
means.
know that. I didn't know that. I support the Polisa too. A
Yeah,
lot of,
that's why they were like, what? That's
okay,
why I was
yeah, I'm
about to say
sorry.
that's what it means.
Can you, little Nikki, can you explain it to me? Like, what is I'm naive sometimes to pop culture and shit. What is Little Bill? Like,
It was a derogatory term because
oh
she's
God.
because she is bald, because she had thyroid cancer, so somebody was calling her Little Bill. So basically, Little Bill is a little cartoon character. So we just reclaimed the name, and we call ourselves Little Bill to support police.
I understand now. Somebody tried to explain it to me earlier and I didn't get it. No, I support Polisa. A lot of the times that I would go over to Blaze's live would be to support Blaze and Polisa. I think I've tried to make that very clear several times and in several lives. I've tried. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. A live that I was in the other day, again, please try to understand if you can, if you know me, when I address people as people, and some people may think that that's not appropriate, But again, I'm basing everybody based off of their actions, their content of their character and what they're showing. A lot of times I don't know, especially if you don't show photos of who you are or videos of who you are. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people pretend to be a lot of things. Oh gosh, I said that the other day too, and they're like saying that I'm trying to compare people being, again, this is another twisted narrative. I said the other day about how I've seen people pretend to be black and people pretend to be gay, and they're saying that I'm comparing the two, which wasn't a comparison. I'm just saying I've seen people do both. I've even seen one person do both simultaneously. Not a comparison. I'm just saying I've seen all kinds of people pretend to be all kinds of things. I don't know who's on the other side, so I'm trying to treat everybody as an equal. So if I see somebody coming into Blaze's live or attacking Polisa, and they're not even willing on showing their face, and I'm like, stop being a coward, just come up here and show your face. And to be honest, it was somebody I care about. Like I see in the comments, Joe, they were polite about it. They were like, Joe, watch your tone. I'm like, to who? Yeah, I didn't even know who they were talking about because, again, I was addressing somebody's actions. That was it. That was it. I was all trying to address with somebody's actions because they were being disrespectful to, I believe, police at the time. And, like, everybody was calling them out. But as soon as I did it, I was like, put in check. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I didn't even know that person was male, female, black, white, gay, straight. I had no idea what they were, period. I just saw their actions and I was addressing that. And that's how I operate in real life too. And I don't have the issues in real life with that as I do online. So when you say I'm playing victim or whatnot, and I'm like, no, I'm just keeping my peace. I've been contemplating a lot of things for a long time. A lot of people know this, a lot of people don't. I've been collecting a lot of documentation too. I think Blaze knows this. I've been collecting a lot of documentation for a lot of things and a lot of people. Nothing with you guys. If anything, like if I even was to talk about it, it would just be like a short little blurb if I do end up going through with this documentary. But the majority of it is about the group mentality and the mob mentality and the cult mentality. This online, people will spread false narratives about others. And sometimes all it takes is a twisting of one or two words and changing the meaning completely. And they'll throw these labels on people. And it causes a lot of harm to a lot of different people. But people don't care about that unless it happens to them. That's the reality. They don't care about it unless it's them. And no offense to any of you all, but a lot of you showed me that today. And when I say a lot of you, I just mean a lot of the people that I've been talking with. It not targeting any one demographic of anything, because it's been a mixture of everything. And it's just going by actions. A lot of people have shown me. We only care if it happens to me or the people that I care about. We don't care if it happens to you. We don't care if we do it to you. And Rabbi showed me that the other day too. Did you see him, little Nikki? Were you in that live with Moses the other day?
Yes, I saw that.
So did you see when Rabbi came in and he used my real name, and then as soon as I used his real name, he's made several videos about it, like, oh, Joe tried to dox me. He doesn't even think twice about him using my real name, which isn't doxing, by the way. Mm-hmm. But he got so offended by me using his real name and denied his real name. It's very common on this app. People don't look at what they're doing to other people. They only look at what's being done to them and their friends.
But you don't think that you do that when you come in black spaces?
Did you hear what I just told you a little while ago about how I approach everybody?
Mm-hmm.
And do you realize like a lot of times I've been invited, and sometimes by many people, and I'm not ever trying to do anything but being supportive of the people that are hosting that live?
Yes, but
okay.
Sometimes people can do things and not realize that they might be doing something detrimental, and instead of listening, they get defensive.
And that goes for everybody. In fact, let's let's go back to where this all started. This all started with Moses asking me what demographic I thought was the most homophobic. And my answer was, well, to be honest, I think it's heterosexual, cisgendered men, mostly white. And that, just saying that alone, triggered a lot. And it proves to me how there's a lot of people that are not willing to look at their own biases and their own internalized phobias towards trans people, because I do fully believe that trans people are much more targeted than gay people or anybody else within the LGBTQIA plus community. And I think a lot of people don't realize the immense amount of targeting that trans people have had, and that includes all trans people, Black, white, Hispanic, Latino, Asian, everything. So I know black trans women are the most targeted out of all, but I mean, a lot of people aren't willing to listen to people within the community about that. And the reason I'm laughing is because there is so much hypocrisy of from a lot of people the past few days, because they are the ones that are offended by something that's not a slur, not something that was derived out of hate. It's literally just a scientific term that's used to describe people who are not trans. That's it. And they say, oh, well, don't call us that. I'm like, okay, I didn't. And I won't. I'll respect that. And I still got ostracized. The amount of sensitivity by people that are getting upset at something that really, in my opinion, they're getting upset about it, just furthers the hate towards the trans community, which is already targeted. They are contributing, in my opinion, to the white supremacist ideology that targets trans people, but they're not willing to listen to the people within the community to hear them point that out. And they get super offended when you try to educate them on that. They get super offended when you try to educate them on that, and they act like they know better than the people within the community who are trying to educate them. So you're in a no-win situation with a bunch of hypocrites that won't listen to people from a community unless it's the few that actually, go along with those narratives. We don't, like, a lot of times we call them TERFs.
I mean, it's not really a no-win situation. I mean, they say they don't want to be called that. You educate them.
Okay, so
and they still want to be called that, then you move on. You don't have to keep going on and on and on about it, right?
Little Nikki, what do you think that iCreep came over to my live about? After I left Moses's live and I continued my own live, she came over to MySpace over here, and what do you think she was talking about?
Enlighten me. I don't know. What was she talking
about that part of Moses's live, and she brought it up again today. If you were in the live with Pinup, you heard her bringing that up again today. It stemmed off the whole cisgendered thing and people getting really upset about that. They don't even listen. The people that are getting upset over cisgendered are so uneducated about it that they don't understand multiple things. First of all, there's a lot of people that are not understanding that it's CIS, not SIS, and that two words can have the same pronunciation and have completely different meaning. And it's almost like they forgot that part about the English language, and they're just like, well, I'm going to be offended anyway. That's number one. Number two, they seem to think that it only applies to females, even when you are talking about a cisgendered male or cisgendered males. They will also take it as a personal attack that you're calling them that when you don't call them that and you agree not to call them that and you're just using it as a term, as it is, an adjective. They also can't seem to understand the difference between females and women or males and men. There's also people that can't seem to differentiate trans versus sexuality. So like even Heather earlier made a video that was pointing out to me, well, Joe, don't forget that trans can be straight. I know that. Like, I know very well that. I also know trans people can be bisexual. I also know that, like, I have a trans friend who, when they transitioned from female to male, they were a lesbian female, and when they transitioned, they still were into females, but as they started taking their hormone pills, they started to develop bisexual tendencies. We are all very diverse people in this world, but when people don't even understand the fundamental basics of a word and of what that word means, and they're out here arguing about how offended they are by it, and they're putting up arguments that don't even make sense about the word, how do you continue to have an intelligent conversation with somebody like that? They don't want to have an intelligent conversation. They don't even know enough about the subject to have an intelligent conversation. They just want to feel offended, play victim, and they want to gaslight, and they want to basically be right. They don't care about what is actually right. They just want to be right. They don't even know enough about the subject to have an intelligent conversation, to know the difference between female and women's, or straight and trans.
I have one more question.
Okay.
Okay. So how can I put this? It's similar to what we're talking about. But say that you say something or call somebody something that in your mind is nowhere near offensive, but to them it is. Do you respect their wishes and not do that to them? Or do you argue and try to state your point and try to wear them down because you feel it's right and you feel that there's nothing wrong with it, instead of just respecting their wish
Let me
and
answer.
not do that to them?
Okay, let me answer now. So if somebody tells me, and anybody that's had personal dealings with me knows this, if somebody asks me not to call them cisgendered, just like in Moses' live the other day, no problem. I won't call you that. But you can't tell me not to use the word in a general everyday language. Like that is, it's not a slur derived out of hate. And if somebody wants to take a slur, like you could get offended by me saying, oh my gosh, you have red hair. If you had red hair, oh, you're just a redhead, or you're a redhead. I wouldn't say you're just a redhead, but I would say if you get offended, like that I say something because you have red hair, don't call me redheaded. You have red hair. You are redheaded. Don't call me redheaded. Okay, I won't call you redheaded. It's that simple. I don't. But again, you're not going to stop me from saying, oh yeah, my cousin, she's redheaded. I won't call you redheaded, but you're not going to stop me from using the word. And it's important that cisgendered people it's important that transgendered people be able to use the word cisgendered, in my opinion, to be able to have healthy discussions about people that are trans and not trans. That's just my opinion. Again, I think it further perpetuates the white supremacist ideology that trans people shouldn't be able to have healthy conversations about their community and people outside of their community. Or, like, let's face it, a lot of people don't even just want them to exist. And that's why I feel it's harmful to just further perpetuate what I feel personally, and I'm allowed to my opinions. If the people don't like it, that's their problem. I feel that it is I don't know what the proper word is to use, but it's basically this brainwashed idea, in my opinion, that the word means something than the reality of what the word means. Because you can look up words all the time, and I understand people want to make arguments all day long, but you look up certain words, you look at the history behind words. Some words are slurs, they have a history of being derived out of hate. Some words are scientific terms and adjectives, and they don't. There's a big difference between the two. If people are going to get offended by the latter, that's more of a them issue, in my opinion. But I won't call them things that they don't want to be called.
Understood. Well, I'm going to step down and hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Hey, little Nikki Bill, thank you for coming up. Thank you for being respectful. And
No problem.
I appreciate the time. All right. I'm gonna unless anybody else has any other questions, I blocked and muted a lot of people because, to be quite honest, like I just don't have time for people that hate me in this world. If you want to think things about me, if you want to make presumptions, if you want to believe this or that, you're more than welcome to. Did you laugh at Pinup when she demanded respect? I don't believe I laughed at her because of that. And if I gave out an uncomfortable laugh, it was probably because I felt that there was some hypocrisy in that, if I'm being honest. I felt that she was being hypocritical and demanding respect when she didn't respect what I said from the very beginning when I entered her live. She said she understood and she acknowledged it, but she didn't respect what I told her in the beginning of the live. And I felt like she was almost trying to keep me held in a box, instead of respecting that I wanted to try and make time to address things later. And look, I mean, she was in the live. Did she ever send a request to come up? She wasn't blocked. She didn't want to talk with me later. She wanted to talk about me, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I can't say that as a fact because I'm not in her head, but that's how I feel her actions have shown me. And you're right, Liz, I can't tell people how to feel. You're right, I can't tell people how to feel. And like, whether I like something or not, honestly, it doesn't matter to other people. I mean, I literally, again, I'm laughing because it's like, I literally have several people out there that are making videos. I don't even think a lot of people would understand the strength that it takes to be able to combat the people that are using your person, your best friend that was taken out of this world by homicide by an officer, and they are literally making him sing next to the officer that took him out of this world, like Jenny Torres, Selena the Fold, Obese from the Crease, Dark Abyss, Labyrinth, whatever she wants to go by. That is what she does. That is exactly what she does. She makes videos like that and her friends share it and they laugh at it. And as much as you've seen other people emotional about their personalized experiences, because yes, it is an emotional thing to go through. Like, can you imagine seeing your loved ones being put up to sing and dance for other people's entertainment with the person that took them out of this world? How strong of a person would any of you be? So while you all are sitting here knocking me down left and right and thinking you're doing something by putting me down and judging my character, I creep for you to mention, because I know you're watching, I creep for you to even bring up my friend and say, oh, I looked into it. And for anybody to say that I'm using him, or what did you say? I'm tokenizing my friend? Like, the person that said that, you go back and watch my 11.5-minute video that I made to try and bring public awareness to it, because after I fought the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department 3 years ago, before I even got on TikTok, I basically learned that the only way I'm going to get justice for my friend is to get a public outcry. That's it. That's the only way that we're going to get justice for any victims like that, especially when police want to silence it. And it's pretty obvious the police want to silence it because the police paid the family out a cash settlement on a civil suit. A lot of people don't even understand the difference between a civil suit and a criminal suit, but there's no statute of limitations on murder. There's not. So all I'm looking for is justice. I want that criminal suit to happen so that those two officers can hopefully go to jail. But when the family took a cash settlement, unfortunately, they took a gag order with it, so they're not able to speak on it, right? They don't want to relive the pain. I understand that. That's their choice. But that was my brother, not by blood, obviously, but that was my brother, essentially. I knew him 18, 19 years, and we were best friends when he was taken out of this world. We had been together for about 5.5 years when we were together, and we were best friends for about, I think, 12.5 after that. And we were known each other like a long time. That was the person I called all the time, and he called me all the time to laugh, to vent to, you know, even after I moved away from Florida, I kept in touch with him for 2012. So let me think. I moved away in 2008. 4 years after I moved away, I still kept in touch with him, you know, and he was still my best friend. I kept in touch with him on a regular basis. And for anybody to be sitting there looking up that information to try and use it as a weapon against me, no, you lost every ounce of respect that I ever had. Oh gosh, yeah, hey love, welcome back. Yeah, I am so glad I got out of Florida for multiple reasons. I left Florida in 2008. And that's the whole thing. A lot of people know, like, they have my record. They've pulled my record. They've doxed me. They dox me 24/7. A lot of you wouldn't be able to handle half of the shit that I've been put through. Seriously. I'm doxed on a regular basis, 24/7, still to this day, by Cuban, by Jenny, by Exodus, hiding behind his little, oh, I'm the watchers of the net. Everybody knows that's Kalen Jordan Green from Moreno Valley, California, Exodus. Everybody knows that's him. Everybody. Like, that's the whole reason I brought that awareness to Moses in the first place. And let me just say this. If you guys didn't pay attention to anything, what you should have seen from that, and Moses' reaction, was some of the best documentation that I got for my documentary, because it just showed the amount of transphobia that there really is and homophobia that there really is. Because Moses didn't care about the factual information and the proof that's still on my page, showing who it was that targeted him and did that whole smear campaign against him that brought him so much hate. He was more interested in targeting the LGBTQI plus community. He was more interested in getting his feelings hurt over me using a term talking about a demographic. And a hell of a lot of people fell right in line and got super offended by me just using that term towards a demographic. Nobody in particular in that group, and I also agreed not to call anybody in that group that word, but they all still focused on the fact that I even used that word because they're super offended by it, not understanding the white supremacist ideology behind being offended by that word. And don't try to educate somebody from the community, right? That's actually trying to educate you. You don't want to hear it from people in the community. That's the weird thing to me. That's where I see so much hypocrisy. And I'm like, wow. Okay. Now imagine me telling anybody, you need to stop and listen to people in the community. No, what I get back is, you can't tell me what I'm offended by. Oh, okay. But you don't seem to understand that your fragility over being called cis is harmful to the trans community. You don't get that, and you don't want to get that. That's that. Like, the documentation that I got from me bringing that to Moses alone was worth every ounce of hate that I've received since then. And if you guys think that the amount of hate that I've gotten since then is anything, I've gotten a hell of a lot more hate in the past 2 years, to the point where I really don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me. If you don't like me, stay the fuck away from me, and I'll stay the fuck away from you. That's what mature adults do. You want to make a video about me? I'll make a video response about you. You want to be shitty towards me? Buckle up. I'm going to be shitty towards you. If you don't like the energy that you're getting, maybe you should go look in the mirror and think about the energy that you put out first. Because most people that I respond to, it is a complete response. I'm still a human being, and I'm not going to allow somebody to especially come over to my space, be super disrespectful, and then demand respect back. And Pin Up, I will say, I'm sorry for speaking over you. I understand that things got emotional, but I really wanted to try and give you the opportunity to connect with me later. And honestly, by coming into my live tonight and I don't think you even tried to come up and speak with me, I fully feel like that you were more interested in talking about me instead of with me. And that kind of, like, I don't know how old you are. I don't know anything about you, really. I mean, I've seen you around a little bit here and there, but to me, I tried to treat you as a human being. Like, if you're younger than me, I still wanted to give you that equal playing field. Like, it doesn't matter to me that you're younger than me. Like, I still want to treat you like an equal, you know, like, you could teach me. I fully believe that. Anybody can teach anybody. My intention wasn't to upset you, and I understand impact over intention. Like, I really wanted to try and continue in a healthy way, and I saw that, one, it wasn't healthy right then, and then two, it wasn't very organized, in my opinion. No offense, but also, I really had to get back. Like I said, like I was trying to explain, and again, I apologize for the way it came out. Not if I'll apologize for the way it came out, because I was trying to explain, like, if I took away time from my job in the middle of the day, that just means I have to work later. That's why I didn't even start this thing till about 8 o'clock my time, because I had to make up time from the time that I lost during the day. So I wanted to plan this earlier. I wanted to continue the conversation. Unfortunately, we're done. That people chose not to, and they chose to move in a different direction. Everybody chose to move how they wanted to move, but we are where we are. And me, what I'm choosing to do, it has nothing to do with solely any one person or one event. What I'm choosing to do moving forward, it's mostly because I want to move in a different and a positive, more. I want to move in a different direction, a more positive direction, and I've been able to document a lot. I've really, like, this has been a journey for me over the past 2 years. I don't give a shit what Lady Guinevere, what Unir Viata, what Cuban Delight, what Rabbi the Enforcer, Casey Kasem, Casey Camden. I don't care what anybody thinks of me. I don't, because again, I know who I am at the end of the day, and anybody that's taken the time to get to know my heart, it is toxic love. It is completely toxic. Like ratchetness, I'm going to tell you, when I first started talking with you, ratchetness is very free with her love, and I've grown to love ratchetness. I was taken back at first when she would say love you, because I was not used to it from other people on this app, and I was very guarded, and I was like, what's the hidden agenda, right? There's no hidden agenda. Ratchetness just loves people, and she really has a good head on her shoulders. And I really hope you will follow my my main Instagram page over there, from my original name, Washington Dog Dad, because I've left my other accounts up, but I logged out of them and I didn't save the login information. So I know they're connected to my email. I could always reactivate them if I want to, but I basically just abandoned my other Instagram accounts. And I've got 3 accounts left on TikTok that I may be doing the same with very soon. But there are some people that I want to keep in touch with. Like I said, nobody's chased me off the app. I'm not victim. I know people say, oh, you want to be victim so bad. No, I don't. No, I don't, because victims aren't even alive, and I'm a survivor, and I don't give a fuck what anybody wants to think or say. I've survived a lot of stuff, including a pew-pew to my head when I was 21, including, like, it doesn't matter. I could give a shit less what anybody wants to think. Seriously. Nobody, especially not fucking Dominique M. Allen from Kansas City, Missouri, who did a whole fraudulent GoFundMe literally claiming somebody else's tragedy as their own to profit off of, right? Literally, Dominique Kane Allen, Dominique M., quote unquote, Kane Allen, and Lady Guinevere, Heather DeGroy, literally, like, doing fraudulent GoFundMes on this app. And I was trying to call that crap out. A lot of people don't even know about that. Nobody's chased me off this app. If I survived all of them and all their doxing and all their false accusations and all their stitching of audios and videos and making things seem like they're different from what they really are, trust me, I could survive any of this group that has come after me, some of them not. It doesn't affect me. I wanted to give an opportunity to speak with people tonight, because out of this group that I went into were a lot of people that I grew to care about. And I wanted to give the opportunity to speak with people, hear people, and to let them ask me questions, because there was a lot of false information put out. I want to take a screenshot of this before I block you, Madam Hill, because I know when my shit goes on later, it's going to be you. Like, at least Madam Hill puts it in her profile, recording TikTok streets. So at least we know who's one of the recorders. Kathy, what? Kathy, mother, Baba effin', I can't even pronounce that, but personal trainer. Gonna say that it sounds like Mugren person. Little Nicky Bill, you're still here, so I'm guessing you're probably recording for the Little Bills. Maybe? No? Or are you still here to enjoy the show? I really appreciate you coming up. Seriously, I'm just giving you a hard time, but I really appreciate you coming in, Little Nicky Bill, and being respectful. Anybody that came in tonight and was respectful, I really appreciate that. I expected Dominican to be more respectful when she came in, and honestly, I was really disappointed in the way she came up and made an accusation with nothing to back it up and couldn't give specifics of her quote-unquote gaslighting accusation. If you all want to play back, I guaranteed you're either leaving out a word or something. So, and if I'm wrong, I will be the first one to admit it and apologize. But you need to post that shit if you're going to make accusations. And I'll tell you what, if I, as long as it's not stitched together and shit, because I could tell that crap, I will unblock. I will give the biggest fucking apology, because I'm not afraid to give apologies where our apologies are due. And if one's due, I'll give it. But you guys are going to have to show that, because I'm human. I'm capable of saying something and not being caught up in the heat of the moment or whatever, just like everybody else. But a big difference with me is I will fucking apologize, and I will admit shit where a lot of people won't. And that's where I have a big problem with a lot of people that have been taking and twisting my words. That shit is manipulative. And if you're the type of person that's spreading false information and manipulated information to fit your narratives, you are a toxic, horrible person, and I want nothing to do with you. So if you feel that that applies to you, then you take it for what it's worth. If you don't feel that applies to you, then don't worry about it. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Right? Yeah, ratchetness, TikToxic. I started calling it TikToxic over 2 years ago. And you know why I called it TikToxic back then? I really saw, I'm going to wrap this up soon. I really saw back then, and that's when I really started documenting a lot of things. I mean, it went in waves. The way that I was documenting too went in waves, but I've been documenting hard, God, over 2 years now. I've been documenting like really hard, and I've still got a few old receipts that need to get a little better organized, but I've been organizing them pretty well over the past, I'd say, year or more, definitely more than, and I've got a lot. I've got like 2.5 terabytes worth of shit. But yeah, give me a couple of years, because I'm going to be working on something part-time, and it'll show just how TikToxic really is, to the point where the app itself, watch, mark my words, I know I'm recording it, I hope somebody else is, mark my words, my live will go down shortly after talking about this, to the point where I fully believe that TikTok is quite involved with what they're allowing, what they're not on this app. And people are focused on the wrong things, because remember, this app started out as a kids app. The adults may have exceeded the amount of kids that are on this app, but there is so much toxicity, almost pornographic stuff on this app, and people don't even realize it. And we're all fighting each other when we should be fighting the bigger issues. Trying to demonize people just because you get your feelings hurt over a word that you don't understand, or because you want to believe something somebody else said, or whatnot. Yeah. Hello, Coffee. So if anybody else has any other questions, ratchetness, you don't have enough to go live yet, do you? I'm gonna send you like 1,000 followers, because that's a thing you could evidently do. Like, you deserve, no, you don't want to. You deserve to go live. Your voice needs to be heard, ratchetness. Your voice needs to be heard as far as I'm concerned, I feel like you need to be heard than a lot of the people that are out here just creating and stirring up drama for no reason. Like you've got a lot of valid things. The way you present shit, I don't know how anybody could not love you, seriously. You're funny, you're smart, you're beautiful, you're intelligent, you're like factual. You just bring, yeah, I don't want to put the fold in TikTok. I know they do. I know they hate you. They hate you. I think they hate you more than they hate me, that's for sure. Because your accounts get taken down at like lightning speed. And most of the times you're just challenging Denise to box you. I don't know what she's so afraid of. I don't know why that triggers her so much. Like, she's evidently really afraid of a real black woman that she knows could kick her ass. That's just my opinion. Okay, hopefully you got my Washington Dog Dad on. Oh, they are on your IG now. Oh Lord. If you can, follow my Washington Dog Dad page from IG, please. Because I definitely want to keep in touch with you and whatnot. I can't believe they're over there. Casey made a video recently like, I don't want to hear nothing about anybody saying anything about doxing now. He got really upset that I evidently used his full name, Casey Dwayne Camden, and I put out his birth date, and he's like, oh, Joe tried to dox me. That's not doxing, Casey. You were there for the court case with Uni, Casey. You remember, it's perfectly legal for us to use, oh man, I got to do this. Hold on, I'm going to bring this up. You're going to love this. Wretchedness. It's perfectly legal for us to use, oh wait, I'm not going to do it. I was going to bring up Casey's arrest record, but I'm not going to do it because his stupid little, oh, you just, Ratchetness, you just DM me. Just DM me. I'll get you what you need. Are you over there? You don't have to answer on here, but he's in Virginia. He's in Virginia. He's the, I love the other day when he showed his face, because all his videos are in black and white because he doesn't want people to sit there and see, his red beard, because even Moses said the other day that they ain't never seen a red-headed Arab. And I'm like, I understand there probably are some. I understand that there probably are because it's a mutation in the genes, right? So, and I understand that aspect. But Casey, you ain't it. I'm sorry, Casey. You ain't shit. You want to talk all bad and you want to say you dog walked me and all that shit, right? But when you're too much of a PUSSY to give out your own real name or confirm a real name, you ain't shit on this app. When you got a bunch of people calling out your real name and you're out here denying that it's you and everybody really knows you, you ain't shit. Okay, I'm just letting you know you ain't shit, Casey Camden. Casey Dwayne Camden. Okay. In fact, I would say that Casey Camden probably should be a little bit careful about calling some of his emails dirty rab, because it kind of gives you away. And if I was to pull up a screenshot showing all that stuff, it would definitely prove that you're Casey Camden. They think they're all bad and scary, but they really ain't shit because they're not even willing on fucking confirming their real names. And Casey probably wouldn't care if somebody doxed his family, because I don't think his family, most of his family really cares about him. But I digress. Ratchetness, you just let me know what you need. I'll get it for you. And Denise, don't be complaining, because you used to ask me for information on people all the time, Denise. Didn't Denise ask me if I would be a hacker for the fold? Oh yeah, I posted that recording. I know people got that. See, somebody explained to me recently, what I've done, my job on this app is done. I have passed the baton on to people. And they have all the videos that I've put out. They have everything. Aw, did somebody get their feelings hurt? Did my live get banned? I don't know. Ratchetness, if you're still in here, let me know. Somebody's reporting my live. They don't like the truth getting out. Aw, that means I got a fold member watching my live. Aw, Poor Casey. Poor Denise. Ratchetness, are you still in here? I think my live is still active. It's so funny how that's all it took. They were enjoying the screen recording until they get the energy returns. See, Casey, if you're going to go into somebody's live, like Moses's, and you're going to spread all this false information and you're going to drop real people's names, you should buckle up and expect the same back, Buttercup. Like you really should, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Stop acting like a gander. Little gander. All right. I've had fun. I hope you guys have too. I hope you guys like got to ask your questions, and I'm really sorry that some of the people that I was hoping would come in here didn't, but I'm glad that other people came in for them. Excuse me. So yeah, I think this live is still up, but if not, that's fine. I got to get to bed anyway because I've got a busy day tomorrow, and I was promising myself I'm only going to run this till midnight my time, and it's midnight just now. So much love and respect to everybody that deserves respect, that doesn't take others for granted, that doesn't walk around using anything as an excuse to be disrespectful to other people, and doesn't lie about people and change their wording to fit their narratives and treat people like shit. Yeah, much love and respect to everybody that doesn't do that crappy shit. The rest of you, go look in the mirror. Stop judging others when you live in a glass house. Ratchetness, I adore you, and I will talk with you later.